Hello and welcome to Insight TV. I'm your host, Helen Kerrison, and I am the founder of Insight in Business, an expert on conscious living, and my passion is sharing how everyone can live the conscious life they love when they know how. Now, on Insight TV, we'll be sharing thoughts, ideas, experiences. We'll be discovering new insights, just as the name suggests. And the theme for this series of broadcasts is the energetic connection. And this week, with my special guest, we're going to explore connecting with your passion. Now, before I introduce her to you, I'd like to share 3 concepts with you. And they are, number 1, happiness comes from connecting with your inner self. Number 2, you are responsible for your happiness and you decide how happy you want to be. And number 3, there are no limits when you take responsibility for loving your life. So, to my special guest, Blanca Vergara is the founder of Your Looking Glass, an advisory and training company devoted to heart-centered business. Based in Amsterdam, Your Looking Glass serves the builders of the heart-centered economy and misfits in the outdated greed economy, and it works with visionaries all around the world. Now, Blanca joins us today from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Welcome to the show, Blanca.
Hi, Helen. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm delighted this evening to share with you. I love what you just said about happiness and responsibility. So profound.
Yeah, it resonates with you, doesn't it? I can see.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm really intrigued with Your Looking Glass. You know, and we've known each other for quite a few years now. And we were talking just the few minutes before we came on air about change and how we evolve and how things are not set in stone and that, you know, the expression of who we are changes all the time. So I'd really like to know more about Your Looking Glass and this expression of Blanca Vergara.
Well, you know, another way of defining Your Looking Glass is the, if you wish, legal entity or economic entity that facilitates my spiritual journey.
Well, Your Looking Glass is easier.
So as I've been growing and discovering and understanding what it means, my own life purpose, my own soul purpose, the company has been changing, and it's just so interesting. As I have been changing, the company has been changing, and then the people who are attracted have been changing. Mm. And now more than ever is about this energetic connection. Before, I was working in the world of the energetic connection between you and the market. Mm. And very fast I started, I needed to change with the connection between you and your inner circle, you and your tribe, you and your family, you and your relationships. Mm. And more recently, it has become necessary to deepen that connection between you and you. And you is really this taking responsibility for your happiness, taking responsibility for your life. Get out of the world of blame, get out of the world of scarcity. Things are possible because I believe they are possible, and I think, how can I? And then if you start in this relationship between you and you, then the relationship between you and your family, the relationship between you and the world, so your business, how much you sell, get organized automatically because everything comes from the core.
That is music, isn't it? It's just music because it's fundamental to I think our personal success and our happiness and how much we do love our lives is this connection with the self. I know for me personally and for my business, it's the cornerstone, it's the foundation, it's the core of that. However, at first sight, it's not always easy, and there may be people watching us who go, yeah, that's all very well on a personal level, but how do you translate that into business? How do you make a business out of fun and love and passion and, and all the stuff that, you know?
Well, it takes several leaps of faith. My first leap of faith was when I stated, I hate my job and I hate my relationship. That happened about 6 years ago. And I just stated it. I just said it. I didn't have a clue that I needed to quit my job. I didn't have a clue that I needed to quit that relationship. It was all arranged for me. My great boyfriend at that time, who was the perfect relationship to learn all the things that I didn't want in life, told me that he didn't want to be with me. And the company who also taught me all the things that I didn't like in corporate life told me that they didn't want to be with me. And so the universe conspired with me to take that leap. And after taking that leap, things became much easier because that in that world I was in the world of emptiness. So I didn't have anything, but I didn't have anything to lose. And with that came many other leaps. You know, I made many quote-unquote mistakes in the business, in the running of my business in the past almost 6 years now. You know, spending money in things that were not really useful. And I have to laugh about it because there is no waste. Every time that you apparently wasted time or money in an investment or in a person or in a project, you didn't, because that was a blessing in your life. That was bringing you a lesson. So it takes taking that leap, and that can be solved with courage. So the courage to say, okay, I quit. Okay, I stop with I divorce, because sometimes it's really you have to stop those relationships. Or I fire myself and want to just stop listening to myself and want to ask for help. So that courage part, and also a great deal of sense of humor. Not taking yourself so serious, because I guess you share with me, and more people are feeling it, that we are not human beings. We are not bodies here. We are a spirit having a human experience. So, you know, guys, nothing is going to happen. We already know that the worst that's going to happen is we'll die, and that's a certainty.
We're going to do that anyway.
So from there, everything is an experience. And pain is an experience. You know, the other day they took my my wisdom tooth out. Ow, ow! That's an experience. Or I tell Helen that I'm now breastfeeding my daughter. That's a great feeling of intimacy. That's also an experience. And if we label life like that as a series of wonderful experiences, we become less afraid of taking that leap.
Absolutely, and I like the word you use, label, because we do label. We label everything. We put labels on our emotions. We put labels on our experiences. We put labels on people, our relationships. We use labels all the time, and of course, the labels we choose depend on what we're thinking, how we're experiencing our thoughts. The words we come up with are very much related to that.
Absolutely.
You know, and the way you're thinking and how you express that through your words has a direct impact on you, on the labels you put. You know, we had a beautiful sunny afternoon here today, and then a thunderstorm, and it poured with rain. Now, you can choose to look at that as, oh no, you know, typical Belgian weather. It doesn't last very long, and that's the summer over and all the rest. Or you can think, wow, that's amazing. And I looked at it out onto on my terrace as my pots of plants and herbs were being watered, and I thought, you know, that's just a wonderful thing. You know, it's a very simple example, but then you can extrapolate that to all areas of your life.
Absolutely, absolutely.
How do we change the labels that we choose for ourselves?
Absolutely. You know, this is for me the cornerstone of my work, reframing. Reframing, because we tell ourselves a story about almost anything, but we can tell the story in a completely different way, and that creates so many possibilities. From my point of view, a good way of doing it is really to express your feelings, and to allow yourself to have those feelings. For example, the weather. No, oh, how horrible weather! I hate it! I hate it! I hate it! And get yourself into the angry, and then realize, oh, has he left mine? And then burst in laughter and say, hey, at least I have feelings. This is very, how call it, easy, if you wish. But there are things that are more complex, you know, like what happens to us in childhood, or war, or what's happened in the office, or what the customer did to us. And I love this exercise of writing about your feelings and really write your anger and really express it. I am so angry because so-and-so did and that, and there's an injustice. And once you express that, you can start expressing other feelings of, oh, maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I am confused. No, I am afraid that I will never be able to work with this person again because actually I really like him, or I really like her. He was doing the best he could. And the more you start really expressing your feelings, just that simple exercise of expressing your feelings, it starts reframing the situation. And every time you express your feeling, it's really magic. It becomes milder. It becomes of a higher vibration. Until you are going to be beyond of the level of happiness and beyond of the level of knowing. Sorry, beyond of the level of loving, but in the level of knowing. In the level of knowing is when you know that people are doing their best, that you are doing your best, that you deserve love and compassion, that they deserve love and compassion. In the level of knowing, there is no problem.
Absolutely, and what you were describing earlier, you know, really that's sort of the dramas of our life, isn't it? It's about being able to actually acknowledge the dramas we create in our life and then just let them go and choose another way, choose that way of knowing and that way of laughter and acknowledging a different expression, a different way of interpreting a situation, you know. I know that my coach, he always talks about ask the question, answer the question the answer. And I think that is so good, you know, because you ask the question and you're saying, oh, I'm angry about this, what am I, why is he like this, why is she like that, all the rest. You answer the question to yourself because, you know, they're just so ungrateful or they just don't like me or whatever. And then you think, hang on a minute. You question what you've just said, which is exactly what you just explained as well. You know, it's so powerful and simple. Simple. Yeah.
And one of the things that I notice is that we run away from it. We have a feeling, whatever feeling, and I'm not supposed to have this feeling. No, repress it.
Yeah.
I don't like this weather. No. I should be feeling something else. So I don't like my customer. No, I shouldn't be feeling this. I don't want to go to that meeting. No, I shouldn't be feeling this. So I have to be happy, or I have to be, you know, I don't know, women. I have to be professional, and men, I'm not supposed to be afraid, and all these things that we are not supposed to do or feel, and we repress that feeling, and then it grows really like a crying child. The feeling will be louder and louder.
Absolutely, yeah. It's that should word that comes up all the time. I think if there's one word that should be banned, it's should. Should. Should all the time, and that's very much.
I should.
Yeah, it's linked to judgment. You know.
Yeah.
You know, judging and feeling that we're being judged.
Yeah.
You know, so we can release that need to judge, and you know, we do it all the time without really being aware that that's what's happening. And so stopping every now and then and, you know, questioning what you've just said or what you've just thought can be quite illuminating.
Yeah. That's why I advocate for laughter, because when we are questioning what we feel, what they feel, what they mean, what are our judgments, and it could be so heavy.
I know, the energy, and you know, we're talking about the energetic connection.
Yeah.
Energy can really, it's tangible. You know, you can feel it, and I think you're the same, Blanca. I'm very susceptible to energy, my own energy, as much as anybody else's. You know, I know when my energy is really low, and other people can sense it. So those tricks to bring your energy up again. Have you any sort of, you know, surefire ways to get your energy high again?
Yeah, well, today I had a situation like that I was very happy. I had a very productive morning. I was doing this and that. I was really fantastic, and suddenly I got a negative surprise in which somebody did not follow the agreement that we had. And I was furious. And I was trying to act in the most enlightened way, because, okay, the person didn't fulfill the agreement, but did something really nice. So how come I cannot say, well, the agreement, but you were so nice? How can I express that? And I couldn't manage, you know. I was looking at my little daughter, 6 months old. Please make me laugh. Oh, couldn't. And so I allowed my anger to go, and I hit the table, and I shouted, and then I said, oh, I can look at something funny. So I went, you know, to something funny in YouTube to laugh, completely irrelevant, had nothing to do with the subject, and I was able to laugh. Once I was in that away of my really profound anger, because I was very angry. I was able to laugh at something else, but I was still angry. So I started praying, and for me, it's very, very useful to work with Mother Earth. With stones. I work with stones. So some people maybe can work with going to the park or seeing flowers, but whatever representation of grounding will help. Go gardening, go cooking, go lie down. Whatever grounding will help you. So I started praying with my stone, and I calmed down. And I was able to talk to the person and give. Sorry, I also asked for guidance. So I work with, in this case, with a card, a set of cards, and it is so beautiful. The answer was because my question was, how can I reframe this horrible situation into anything? And the answer was, be open to receive. So you don't even need to know how you need to reframe it. Let it be whatever it will be. So then I called the person, I was calm, and then the person was really kind and apologetic, and we agreed in a very nice way, a way in between. So maybe a way to put it more general is to be gentle with yourself. It is possible that you're very angry or very sad, or it's not going to go in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But you can try this method or that method or that method until you get better. And sometimes the irrelevant method will be really fast, you know, like this YouTube video, this comedy thing. So be compassionate with yourself, and take steps for, and it will change very quickly.
Yeah, that's very, very good advice, and it's usually what we usually do is the opposite. What we usually do, what can happen, is actually we start being angry with ourselves as well as being angry with the other person or with the situation, and then we start being angry with ourselves because somehow we'd allowed it to happen, or somehow we deserved this situation, or somehow, you know, we were wrong to be trusting or wrong to be this, that, and the other. And so the anger then, from being externalized, actually becomes internal as well. And there it's even more destructive.
That I find really interesting, because maybe I am weird. When I internalize the anger, I get calmer.
Ah, that's interesting.
Because I feel that I have some level of control on the situation.
True, yeah.
Oh, I allowed this to happen. Okay, so fine. So what can I do with this now? Yeah. Or how can I stop allowing this to happen for the next time?
Yes.
Or now that I invited it into my experience, what is good in it for us? You know that I do believe in this concept that we attract what is happening to us. There was this beautiful weekend. I was so happy. We were in the countryside. We were playing with the children. And suddenly, and I was writing my journal, oh, how happy I am. This is just perfect. It's so happy, happy, happy. And arrived a child. It was a bullying child.
Yeah.
And starting basically attacking my son. And afterwards, I was journaling about it. And I realized that thanks to that child, my son was able to express his anger. And I thought, well, this is really great. How many adults go to pay psychologists and psychiatrists because they cannot express their anger?
Yeah.
So, in other words, there is always a blessing, even in the most horrible situation.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. And what is interesting also, Blanca, is that it's not always apparent what that blessing is. And it may not become apparent for years even, you know, for a length of time, what that blessing is. And it's almost like you just have to trust that there is a good there, and that it will become clear with time.
Oh, you bet, you bet. You know, with this subject that what we started in the beginning, you know, you and your business, you and your family, and then you and you. In the second realm of you and your family, many of my customers, myself, my friends, are stalking we and our parents. The women, we and our mothers, and the men, they and their fathers. And we carry it for years and years and years and years. And we don't talk about it, and we don't ask them, did you actually think that way? Did you do that, mom, dad? We have an idea of how they were, and we stay with that idea, hurting us, and we not really acting how we want to act. Even if they pass, I have customers who really are still stuck in how mom and dad used to be, even if they are gone, mom and dad.
Yeah.
I found that very important, that we close that, we really, again, reframe that, rename, rewrite that story, to, if you wish, free ourselves and free them, our relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that reframing comes from it's sort of using both sides. It's using sort of the logical side of us, because that's our thought, that's our words, that's our expression. And it's using sort of that inner side, which is our feelings, our emotions, and our sensations, and how we show up sort of energetically, you know, sort of getting them in alignment.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
You know, I call what I do the building the heart-centered economy. And there is a piece that I haven't written, but I want to, and I will, is that the heart is the balance between the material and the spiritual, but also the balance between right and left hemisphere. We have to have the balance between the two. And yes, I know that we've been too much in the prison of numbers and formulas, and we were there, okay. And now there is a lot of interest in that we start painting and we start being more creative. So much so that we don't want to do Excel files anymore. So my opinion is that we need them both. And the balance is the heart. How much we need to do our plans, and how much we need to do visualization, how much we need to do our paintings, how much we need to do our, I don't know, formulas and calculations.
Yeah. Keeping that everything sort of harmonized, you know, because then it's not always that we may feel that balance, you know, because at certain times one part of our life may become dominant over another, you know, and I like to think about it as sort of like an orchestra, where you have the different sections of the orchestra, like you have the strings, and then you have the wind instruments, and then you have the drums and all the different parts, and they're each playing something different. But
it's so beautiful.
When they come together, they're in harmony. But also, as interesting is that there might be times when actually the piano takes a solo, or the strings take a solo, or the drums. You know, it's not forever. It's just for a sort of a certain period within the music score, but they're dominating while remaining in harmony. There's still that harmony there, you know, and I think, again, it's like you've said, really, it's about sort of connecting and allowing that, and saying, okay, this is how it is now. I acknowledge that. I accept it. It's how it is. And to even though might be a time when perhaps you're focusing on your work or your career, perhaps there's more focus on your family or your children. It doesn't mean that the rest goes away or is out of balance. It just means that your piano is actually playing a little bit a solo for the moment. You know, the violins will come in again later.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that sort of shifting in your life? I have in mine. I you know, certainly. And but I'd be interested to hear how you experience that.
Yeah, I have come to realize that that we have been for a long time in what I call the greed economy, trying to to optimize several variables and create the well-rounded manager or the well-rounded entrepreneur. And you're supposed to have all these competencies.
Yeah.
And the people who don't comply with these competencies, oh my God, they are rejected. They are the misfits. That's what I call the misfits of the green economy. And these misfits, actually, they are wonderful because they are the oboe of the orchestra, or they are the French horn, or they are the tuba, or they are the double bass.
Yeah.
They are those holders of magic that cannot be produced otherwise. And now more than ever, we need to respect all those differences and encourage them, because those differences are the ones that we need now. It's somehow similar, my metaphor of yours with the orchestra. I like the metaphor of the human body or ecology. What if we all had, if we were all cells, and we just all were cells, heart cells or liver cells? We don't have an organism.
No.
We need all of them. And do you know that there are cancer cells in our bodies every single day? And that I find it so poetic, because our white blood cells are cleaning that constantly. And you know, there is no badness in it.
No.
It's just renewal, and it's, you know, exercising what we are good at. And this being different and being doing what you're meant to do at that moment, during that solo, like the heart just pulses when it has to. It's so being close to the rhythms, close to being organic. That's the way I dream that the economy will be, the way we do business will be, the way our life will be. Harmonic with our body, harmonic with our family, harmonic with our qualities. That's what I see is emerging.
It's really interesting that, because I too do a lot of work with businesses, with organizations, corporations, and it's about, for me, conscious business is about making those connections with yourself as an individual, starting with individuals, because actually companies are basically a group of individuals having relationships with each other. You know, if you didn't have people or individuals in the company, it wouldn't be there. That it's like, you know, the organism wouldn't exist.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, being able to, for each individual to be able to express themselves and their individuality to the full, and to be able to then accept and acknowledge and encourage and embrace and celebrate the individuality, the talents, gifts of everyone around them. That's what I'm working on, and that's what I'm helping the organisations, the people I work with, to achieve, whether it be in whatever positions. I work specifically with teams and with leadership, but that's the ideal, and that ties in perfectly with what you're saying.
Yeah, it's you're a great example of what I call the builders of the heart-centered economy. Because it's just so beautiful. It's kind of layers. you are a builder of the heart center economy, but these people who are your customers, all those teams and all managers, directors, are also building it.
Yeah.
And this is such a beautiful, like a symphony, a cooperation of so many layers, which we are all becoming really who we are. I find that so inspiring that now in the 21st century, that is what we're all doing. Well, but many people, more people are doing. We're not yet old.
Yeah, there's no old. It's just older and younger, that's all.
I want that.
But you know, what you're saying sort of is so important, because there are people watching us, our viewers, and who are watching us live, who are maybe going to be watching the recording, and they're really feeling this, and they're really standing up and being counted as sort of a leader in the heart-centered economy. But then, if they may well feel like I do still, feel sometimes, oh my goodness, this isn't working. I must have got it wrong somehow, or and it particularly comes when maybe something hasn't gone the way you thought it would go, or whatever. And it's what I'm saying now is the advice I give myself, and I'm sure I'm like you, Blanca, I'm my best client, right?
Yeah.
Is to understand that another person's reaction has nothing to do with me. Nothing whatsoever to do with me, or with my work, or with the value I'm bringing to the world and to business. It's all their stuff. It has everything to do with where they are. And when I have to tell myself that a lot. It's going in, and I'm learning from it. I've been saying that all my life, and now it's sort of it's getting there. But I still have to do it on occasion.
I think this is very interesting, because I beg to differ.
Ah, good.
This is a spiritual exercise that I've been doing, particularly in the last year.
Yeah.
To think that is the opposite. If somebody does something like I remember the more children stuff that the latest one I published, because it's it really fit me. My child was playing with another child, and they were playing with blocks, and my son just put blue with orange and yellow, and round with square, and the other child said it doesn't fit. I couldn't sleep that night, Helen. It's horrible. I felt that my child was offended. I felt that poor child, all his creativity was taken away from him. I felt just, oh, this is horrible. And I was, they.
Absolutely.
The educational system, his parents, everything,
Yeah.
And it took me all night, and suddenly I realized, it's my stuff. It's my stuff. That I felt a misfit.
Yeah.
And how many times I got other people to feel like a misfit.
Yeah.
And then I realized how many times I took decisions because I thought that they didn't fit.
Yeah.
And how many times I criticized my own art, how many times I criticized my own products, my own website, how many times I said, no, it doesn't fit. And so in other words, I'm just taking every single opportunity there is, every comment, whatever happens in the street, with the customers, in the playground, in the kitchen, as a spiritual lesson. Oh, that billboard is talking to me. Yeah. Oh, I've been lying to myself. Oh my God. I've been lying to my customers. Oh my God.
That is so
that's how I've been changing it. But the trick, very important trick, is that you have to heal it with a huge quantity of compassion. That you say, oh, I've been doing it to others, I've been doing it to myself, and I still love and accept myself.
Yeah.
Because where I was, that's where I was, and that helped me to be where I am now. So that's how I see it.
And I love that idea, actually, because it's very much a reflection back.
Yeah.
You know, and you're absolutely right that because when I'm saying that, I'm passing a judgment as well, you know, and I can remember and you know, a time in my life when I felt very judged and I felt very criticized, and you know, and then after there were many times when I would stop myself in mid judgment of somebody else. In my mind, you know, I thought, oh God. And it's like you're saying, yeah, it does. It's a reflection, and your looking glass is
your looking glass. Yeah.
It just fits so perfectly.
Yeah. But it's very interesting, you know. Recently, I was the latest that I remember that I was judging somebody. Yeah. I was judging a woman for getting her husband into debt to pay her debts. I was thinking, what a horrible woman, she's doing that. And I caught myself, I'm criticizing her. Why am I criticizing her? Because I don't want to be like her. What is good in what she's doing? This is a great question. What is good in that person I'm criticizing? Oh, asking for help, receiving help, being fragile.
Being open to receive, being vulnerable, yeah.
And those things are very criticized nowadays. And for women, you have to be a testosterone monster, and because you have to be tough in business.
That's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing, and this is the image, the perception, and it's the perception that are held by many women in business and outside business. You know, so. This could be a whole new show that we get into now when we talk about women and you know their perceptions of themselves. But it's true that there is so much imaginary stuff that we take for real.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you bet. Yeah.
And
I don't know who the author is because it's not my sentence. Don't believe your own thoughts.
Yes. but most of us do.
Yeah.
So when you do, you have to make sure they're really good ones.
Yeah.
I can't believe, listen, Blanca, we've almost come to the end of the show, and I really enjoyed the conversation with you and sharing all this with our viewers. I wanted to give you the opportunity, if you wanted to share anything personally, you know, to what you're doing and the heart-centered economy, and just give you the opportunity to do that.
Sure, absolutely. Well, you can find everything that I'm doing in my website. That is www.blancavergara.com. And you can download from my website my book, Never Apply for a Job Again. This is a guide for you to live your life work. So no more blaming somebody else, but actually taking action and transform that passion into your own business. So www.blancavergara.com.
Great. So that's Blanca, B-L-A-N-C-A, Vergara, V-E-R-G-A-R-A, and it's all one word, blancavergara.com.
Thank you very much, Helen.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us and spending this time talking about the heart-centered economy and evolving and change and living purpose, connecting with your passion. It's been a real pleasure to share with you.
Thank you very much, Helen, and thank you, everybody. the tribe of Helen. This is a terrific woman. My pleasure talking to you tonight.
Oh, likewise, likewise. And just before we go, just a quick reminder that the next show is on Tuesday, 21st of May. And I'll be joined by Melissa Rancourt. Now, Melissa is a business and social entrepreneur. She's a TED speaker, and she's also the head of faculty for Boston University in Brussels, among other things. So I'll be sharing with Melissa on the 21st. To connect with me, find out all about what I do, go to my website, www.helenkerrison.com. Helen@helenkerrison.com to connect with me directly by email, and be sure to share with us, because it's really great to receive feedback and to see how many people are watching these shows, if not live and on recording. So it's great. Love your support. Thank you very much for that. So until the next show, Tuesday, 21st of May, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. And thanks again to Blanca. And I'll look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks' time. Lots of love.